I thank you so much, first off, for watching the video, whether it be from the catalog or just finding me on Facebook or YouTube or on the social media platform Skool. I appreciate your support. And today I'm going to be talking about really the first herbal product that I ever made. And it is called Purpose Salve, and it's made using the plant called plantain weed. So this is what the salve bottle looks like. And if you look in there, this is the salve, and it goes on really smooth. You can put it on your lips. You can use it like a lip balm, kind of like a chapstick, only it's not going to dry your lips out like some of the chapstick has alcohol in it, which actually draws out moisture. This will put moisture into your lips. And but the reason why I even call it Purpose Salve is because it is good for so many different things. When I first started learning about plants, I went to a homestead festival in Tennessee, and the man that was teaching on the herbs, he was talking about plantain. And the more I learned about it, it was a really simple herb. It doesn't really have any contraindications, which is always a good thing. So it felt like something really safe to go and look for. It's very unique looking. And so when I went home, I found out I had plantain weed everywhere in my yard, in my driveway, it's all over the county. And so I started harvesting it. And so the salve itself, it has plantain in it. This is what it looks like dried. And then what I do is I take it and I infuse it into some extra virgin olive oil. And I use coconut oil. This has beta carotene in it, is why it's orange, which is also good for your skin. And I use lavender oil because if you are using your salve for wounds, which it is excellent for wounds, lavender is an antimicrobial, so it will just help it not get infected. And so I like to have that oil in it. And then I also use peppermint. The reason I put a little bit of peppermint in there is because as wounds heal, they tend to get kind of dry and itchy around it, and it's just unpleasant. And then if you're scratching your scab off, it's going to take longer for your wound to heal. So the peppermint also helps it not feel so itchy. And then the last ingredient that we use is beeswax. And that helps make it a little bit more firm, and beeswax has a lot of beautiful qualities in it as well. But the thing about this salve is you can use it for dry skin, you can use it for eczema, you can use it really any kind of rash you have going on. When my kids were little, well, my oldest, I didn't know plants then, but when my youngest was little, I used it for a diaper rash cream, and it worked beautifully for that too. And it's just really simple ingredients, so I know what I'm putting on him doesn't have a lot of chemicals. It's also really good for burns. I kind of found that out by accident, and then when I found out how well it worked for that burn, we were camping, and the microwave was up high in the camper, and so when I pulled that water down out of the microwave, I had boiling hot water. I stumbled a little because I'm clumsy, and I spilled it all over my hand, and I dropped the bowl because it burnt and it hurt so bad. And I didn't even know at the time that plantain was good for burns, but the only thing I had camping was that plantain salve that I had been experimenting with, and it was in my son's little diaper bag, and I just put it all over my hand because I was like, well, it won't hurt anything. And we finished supper, and before we could even make it to go swim, I looked at my hand. It wasn't red, it didn't hurt, it wasn't burned, it didn't scar, and this was boiling hot water. And so then the nerd in me, I'm like, why didn't it burn me? Why did that work? So I started really deep diving into the herb plantain, and I found out it is an astringent, which means it pulls out. So that is why it can pull out the burns, the inflammation. It's anti-inflammatory as well. And it is also moisturizing. And so that was another thing that fascinated me about the plant, because it can pull out like insect. If you get an insect bite, it'll kind of pull out if it put anything venomous in you, so you won't have as bad of a reaction. So it will draw out but then it will also moisturize. So it's just unusual to find a plant that can do both. So I fell in love with the herb plantain, and I was playing around with a recipe for a while, and I finally came up with this salve. And I've had many people tell me that their wounds heal faster if they get burnt. It helps it if they just use it for a lip balm. Their lips are moist. Everybody I run into just really seems to like this just as much as I did. So I started making it and selling the product. So that is a little bit about this herb. I hope if you do try it that you find it as wonderful as I have. And if you have any more questions, if you follow me on Facebook or if you have my number on the catalog, feel free to ask. And just like with any herbal thing, to each their own. If this is something that you don't feel comfortable using, don't do it. If it's not something that you feel comfortable with, don't try it. But if you want to try an herb that doesn't really have any contraindications and is very safe to play with, plantain is a good first one to try. So I hope this informs you a little bit more about that plantain salve that you were interested in and can help you make a better educated decision. Have a blessed day.